to Live with the Vibe, where we have the heart-to-heart conversations. I'm Julianne Cantarella.
I'm Amie Blumberg.
And I'm Susan Greif.
I'm Jacqui Atcheson. So we were trying to figure out what we can discuss with you guys today that would kind of spice things up a little bit because we forgot our drinks. So I'm spicing things up in another realm. I forgot this water. I didn't get crazy. I didn't get crazy. I did water. I'm hydrating. Okay, I'm hydrating. I did a kick-ass workout today. If anybody wants to do it every day, whoop whoop. 11
Is that kick-ass workout? Whoop whoop.
Yeah, woo woo.
My biceps.
Isaac Boots. I want everybody to look, worked out. Isaac Boots. He is Madonna's trainer, and he's on Instagram Live every day at 11 o'clock. So I'm just saying, like, ladies, a great workout. So anyway, what's happening for me? I'm home all day. We've had that already. I've mentioned that. So what am I noticing? I am noticing the irritating and frustrations of my husband, even though he's not here. And I'm sure a lot of people are I'm loving him more. We're figuring out a great way of having a relationship, but frustrating. Okay, so I will share in a moment, but I want to ask you ladies first because I've had a chance to think about it. You haven't, so I'm going to catch you on the spot, okay?
Yes, you are.
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness. There's so many.
Susan, what
Me first?
little things or frustrations have you come across with your spouse?
Oh, he's an angel.
Oh, he is not. No, you don't get away with that. Go ahead.
I find, you know what it is? I have, not only my husband is at home with us, I have my two sons moved back home with us. And they're all three businessmen. So they're so stressed. And so they're all intertwining with each other. They're all talking their business and issues and problems, and it's really going on with them. And so it's become like them three hanging out together. and you know, and he hangs with the boys all the time, and it's great. I'm very excited that they have this opportunity. But then I kind of feel like, oh, I'm left outside.
Okay, are you feeling left out?
I do feel left out. You know, my work is upstairs where the three of them are working downstairs. Which I'm really happy that, you know, my boys have his guidance, but the stress, it's like, I have to help my husband deal with the stress. So not only am I not getting like the TLC that I would like, I have to offer him TLC, which is fine because that's what I love to help him and I'm happy to be there for him. But it's like, we don't have that alone time anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like your needs are kind of being pushed off to the side.
Right. It's kind of like when the kids were little again, you know, like, you know, their kids take first, you know, so it's whatever, but it is what it is. And I'm just so thankful that we're still getting along. So that's great.
Well, maybe you should take him on a walk and talk.
Yes. Well, you know, we try to do that, but my walks I prefer in the morning because I got my grandchildren in the afternoon and he likes his walk at the end of the day so he can like get it out. So, and I can't walk then. So he's always find somebody to walk with, mostly with his sons, or like, you know, we do the social distance between friends. So.
Susan, that sounds like the good, the bad, and the frustrated. I like
yeah, that. It is. So, you know, like, but sometimes, you know, maybe it's a good thing. He's too busy to like argue with me. So it's not such a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. You got it. Amie, what about you? You're in cramped quarters. Tell us what's going on.
There are so many. I'm not sure which one to start with. For me, it's really the TV, the noise, the loud noise, the MSNBC all day long, and the constant hearing and listening. It's great to be up to date in the news, but there's a point where you just got to take a mental break and you have to really just cut it off and trying to put boundaries around that. And the other is just leaving stuff out. Cleaning up after themselves and not putting things away, that's another one that sometimes drives me crazy. But the loud noise, the TV, not recognizing that it's loud and it's blaring in my ear, and you know, just enough is enough. Like, let's watch something else. If it's not sports, it's this. But now there can't be any sports. So it's MSNBC nonstop. And,
Right.
there's a time and a place. So for me, it's trying to figure out how to shift gears and say, what about reading a book, or what about doing something else? It's trying to make recommendations for alternative ways to sort of keep the noise down, but also to keep that intensity. You talk about stress. Watching the news all day long for anybody is stressful. It's great to
turn mine
be
off. I can't. I just cannot go there.
So I started out the pandemic quarantine watching a lot of news because I'm someone who needs to have information. Now I've stepped away. It's taken its toll, and I've had to step away. But so, Amie, what are you doing? Are you kind of softly suggesting other things?
Suggesting other things, giving him suggestions on what to do on his business, and how, coaching him, I guess you could say, but making recommendations on other ways that he can grow his business, and being a sounding board and providing that support, and encouraging him to watch other things, or read, or, watch TED Talks, things that just will continue to sort of enhance what you're doing, and utilizing this time in a different way versus just watching MSNBC. Or watching other cool shows. My daughter is, into a lot of other cool things in pop culture. And so she's educated us on really interesting things to watch, like the Michael Jordan movie series, which has been incredible. So
well, my kids educated us on the Tiger King series.
Yes, well, they did that already. So that was a blitz. That was a real fast blitz, just like everybody else. So we got to find new ones.
Yes.
Ozark is done, so now we're on to other things. So it's really finding a way to utilize that time, maybe as family time, to do other things. So that's really important. And it's also important to take a break from work and MSNBC, because they sort of live together when you're thinking about how you're going to grow your business. So finding a way to just decompress and separate yourself is what I've been trying to do here. And I need it too. Really need it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Julianne, what about you? I'm going to jump in there, Jacqui, because you are the pillow talk lady.
I am the pillow talk lady. So I have to be very honest. My husband and I have been getting along fine, but we are absolutely cramped in our house. We have all 3 kids home, the dog. I'm finding myself in the bathroom answering phone calls. My middle daughter literally just said to me, take my phone, I'm addicted, take it. And I'm like, okay. So I had to find a place to put that. It's monitoring them. It's keeping them focused on work, getting them out and not isolating. That's really what I'm find them doing now is kind of like binge watching stuff. And it's like, I'm trying to manage my business, be there for everybody, and yet make sure that my son's not on the computer for 8 to 10 hours a day. Or, my daughter is not addicted to the phone, and my other one's making her college classes. So it's been a little bit of a challenge managing everybody and my business. So I think that's the biggest challenge that I've been experiencing. I think I said last time, Vin and I are definitely, kind of reconnecting even more so now. He has absolutely humored me on we watched on Netflix this show, Anne with an E, which I loved. It's Anne of Green Gables, but the newest version. And it's like, he's like, okay, I'll watch it with you again. And he's just been sitting and enjoying. So, it's actually kind of been fun having him around, and I'm able to really, because I've been someone who, with my business, if a client, and Jacqui, I think you and I kind of operate a little bit from the same space. When, we get a text from a client, we're less inclined to set a boundary, and we're like, okay, I got to answer it. Where now I've really been able to step away at night and just make it about the family. So, but now I'm taking a lot of time, so I'm sorry. But what I'm finding is I have 0 alone time, zero alone time. And that's tough, because working, independently, a small business out of the house, I had a lot of quiet alone time. And now I have 0. So that's really tough.
I hear you. I got it. Well, for me, a little frustration and a little annoyance, which I always knew a little, but it has gotten big because he's not around. Because I'm in the house more. Normally, I'm a doer, so I get up, we have breakfast, I go to the gym, I get showered. You're out the door. You're out. And I've noticed, and that's a problem because Frank, I've said many times, is a little not neat. Two negatives, right? He's coffee.
Just a little.
Yeah, I told you in the morning it would take 20 minutes, which is okay. And then I run out the door. But what am I seeing now every day? When I go into the den, there's glasses with lemon, there's water bottles, there's a coffee mug. I go in the bedroom, there's a coffee mug on the side of the bed. There were times that stuff I didn't see, or I was rushing and I wasn't paying the same amount of attention as I'm seeing now. Or, he makes breakfast in the morning. He's a wonderful guy. It's messier than I remember it. So everywhere I turn, and because he likes to cook now 1 or 2 nights a week or on the weekend, we finally established that the kitchen is mine, like the house is mine. You go to work every day, but he yeses me to death. He does what he wants anyway. So whenever I am looking for something, like I needed coconut oil yesterday to cook something, I don't know what he did with it. Gone. Totally has disappeared. He's like a magician. I don't know where it went. And I don't want to call him at work. He's busy because the tone in my voice, remember I mentioned it's not always nice when I get frustrated. So things are missing and things are very sloppy. My house is not my house and I'm in it all day.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is he's leaving a little later because work is less. He's coming home a little earlier. But if I would be home, I like to chill around 4:30 with a cup of coffee and just have a little, that's where I get my alone time and I'm absolutely getting ready to cook and chill. He's walking in the door. He's walking in the door. So I miss him, but yet he's coming home too early. So I would say that's my frustration. What am I watching that breaks away from the negativity? Other than binge watching certain, really like I started Billions again. And oh my God. But what is the funniest show ever? Schitt's Creek. I don't know if anybody has.
I just binge watched the entire season. It was hysterical.
Who's your favorite character, right? How much fun is that show? So that's I didn't get to the good. I got to the bad and the frustration, really. But the good is that we really are getting along. And the weekends having him home, we bike rode on the Hudson this weekend. My daughter came and we walked on the Hudson, social distancing. So Monday I was really depressed. I missed him. I'm alone again in a different way. So that's how marriages and relationships kind of work, I guess. So I would say that was like, oh, I'm having trouble with Mondays and I never did before. So I miss it. Yeah.
So if we were coaching ourselves, what would we tell ourselves? I mean, I would say let go of it, leave it alone. I mean, you just turn it off and say, okay, next. But, Julianne and Jacqui, because you both work with people within relationships, different than how I work with clients and Susan, what would you tell somebody? I mean, how do we address that so that we don't feel this frustration?
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to go back to one thing that Julianne said, which I totally forgot. And yes, as far as how we are with our clients, the one day I saw my daughter and the kids, which in this whole time is maybe the 3rd time I've had time with them, I had a client calling in an absolute frenzied state. And I had to walk away and remove myself. And
it's tough to do that.
What do you do when somebody's getting divorced and the hubby is home and the kids are all around? And she texted me and said, I need to go out for a walk. Can you be available in 10 minutes?
Wow.
You do it. You just do it,
Yeah.
And, so that's it. So what would we coach ourselves? Good question.
Jacqui, I think you need to go to your room a half hour earlier than you normally do.
It's so true. Susan, how would you coach? You do trauma and stuff like that. So
yes.
Yeah, Yeah, what would you say as a coach in these circumstances?
For me, I'm just right now understanding and empathizing because I know he's having a hard time. So, and I do respect my own space too. I will go out for a walk. I will speak to friends. I'm making connections through networking, just keeping myself busy so I don't feel alone. I do, catching up on shows, binge watching all the chick flicks that none of the men in this family would want to watch while they're watching Michael Jordan and so forth. So, I mean, it's just finding balance, just, and interacting with them every once in a while, just to check in on all of the men, my house, see how they're all doing and what I can do to help, because I know they're very stressed in their business, and, and so I get it. And I just want to be there to support them. And I'm okay with that.
Great. Amie.
I got my girlfriends to support me, so.
Oh, that's true. Because that's our tribe. That's what we do.
That's how we vibe.
Woo, woo. What about you?
For me, it's sort of just turning the TV off quietly and saying, what kind of family activity could we do? Finding another, like bananagrams, or playing some other games, doing things that would be family. Definitely for sure is making him cook dinner. We've been doing these great box dinners, which has been great. When I say box, we've been doing Marley. It's part of Martha Stewart. And so it's taught him about cooking. So he actually will cook dinner, which has been wonderful. And he's really learned how to cook and do different things. So finding ways to create different types of distractions is what I've been doing, so that there's a diversion. And I agree with you, there's very little alone time based on social distancing right now. In your own home, there really isn't an opportunity to do that.
Right.
And being home. So it's just finding things that you all like to do, and finding a way not to have some of those things that sort of dominate and create that negative energy, somehow letting go of them. Because I find that when I focus on that negativity, it just makes me more anxious and more stressed. And then I need to call Susan. So yeah, and trying to figure out a way to escape. Actually, the shower is the one place I can escape right now.
Oh, I hear you.
Long showers.
Great meditate.
Prune.
Great place to meditate. You can't walk away and you're alone with your thoughts.
Yeah. And the other thing is headphones, or putting on these and watching, your own show, and just sort of tuning them out and just going to a different part of a room so that you find a way to somewhat deal with it. Because sometimes you just can't shut it down. If it's their way of unwinding and their way of decompressing, Susan talks about, we all go through a lot of stress. And I think every one of us deals with these kinds of scenarios differently. And even when we're in the same home, and we are very much on top of one another right now. So together time is a lot of together time, and it's been great. But, there comes a point where the things that you want to do in the past, you could go to different rooms in different parts of the house. And my office was different than where he would work during the day. And we would be able to then come back together. So it didn't matter as much. So it's trying to find a way to your point, Susan, is creating a balance and allowing myself to focus on work when I need to, but also knowing when to shut it down and to spend time and have dinner together. I think for us, dinner time has really been very special. It's been our chance as a family, and even there's no television, there's no phones, but a chance to really talk and get to be with each other. So to your point, Julianne, there's a lot of wonderful togetherness, but there's also times when you just need to separate. And also using him as a sounding board about business, and me being there too. So finding alternative options so that there's more interaction versus using television as what I call something to sort of deflect and not interact.
Absolutely.
Because that's what a lot of times it can be.
Right.
But I do miss the alone time. I miss going to the gym and my bar classes. I miss being and having my girls' night out with my friends playing mahjong, though we've tried to do it online, and that's not necessarily working so well. Mm-hmm. So it's missing that vibing time, right? I mean, being with each other and for them too, right? I mean, it's actually, Susan, the guys in your house have found a lot of great vibing time.
Right, right.
Right.
And I look forward, my daughter comes with the grandchildren. That becomes my bonding time with
Oh,
them.
that's great. That's wonderful.
Amy, quick question, since you've tried a few of the box dinners, for anybody who's watching, any that you prefer over the others?
Well, I really have enjoyed the Marley ones. We had done one other one, a Hello Fresh.
Right.
And we got kind of tired of the Hello Fresh. They were good in the beginning, but I felt it got a little boring. But what I liked about the Hello Marley, or not the Hello Marley, the Marley, is that there was more variety, and there were more options to not necessarily have to eat a lot of the potatoes and the gluten, and they gave you more options, which is what I liked. But for me, those have been ones, and the the Hello Fresh and the Marley, what I like about it is everything comes. So right now, with having to shop, it's limited the amount of shopping you have to do outside because everything comes together in these kits. So for people who don't want to be in supermarkets, it's really actually been very helpful. And I'll say there's a lot of value in it. And my daughter cooks some of the dinners, and I've cooked them. So what we've also done is we've taken turns cooking, and we take turns cleaning up and preparing. So that's also been fun, is sort of that round robin of everybody pitching in. And I think they're great, though. But for anybody that's out there, that's really wanting to do that, it's been a wonderful way to not have to be in a supermarket, to really think about ingredients. And I'll use the word, for me, it's kind of idiot-proof in the sense that everything is here and organized, and they send you the menus ahead of time so you can pre-plan, which is great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jacqui and Julianne, I have a question to ask you. You both deal with the single women who are probably watching us and say, oh, at least you have a husband around to be with. What do you hear from them, or what can you suggest to them?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting more and more calls, surprisingly. I wasn't anticipating that, but definitely getting a lot of calls from women who are saying, I really realize that, this is making me reflect and say, I do want someone to share my life with. And, much like we've talked in the past, if you're single and you're feeling alone, reach out. There's no harm in reaching out. People can't read your mind. And even though you would like them to reach out to you, very often, maybe they're caught up in caretaking a parent or a child or what have you. Reach out to them and try and connect with your tribe and get them to, be there for you so that you're not feeling so isolated. You're not feeling so alone. Jacqui, what do you think?
Absolutely. I have clients who, some are alone because they've gone through the great divorce, they're empty nesters, and they really are feeling the loneliness. And I tell them the same thing. Don't wait. It's really that simple. And I make a pact even for myself where I reach out to 2 people every day. And it could be text, it could be a handwritten card, it could be an email, it could be a phone call. But somebody I haven't talked to in a bit of time. And I actually reconnected for the 3rd or 4th time with somebody I grew up with whose father was in the Holocaust, just like my dad. We grew up together. It's really an amazing, and I try to stress that to my clients. And then there's the ones who are home with the children and they're a little younger and they really don't want to be alone. So they've been reaching out and they've been connecting with people online. And I mean opposite sex. And they're taking bolder steps than they would have as a young person. And I encourage that because that's their newfound way. And I'm speaking mostly of the women right now, really. They are becoming bolder and more confident in themselves. And I encourage that 1,000%.
Yeah, taking back power is pretty awesome.
Woo, yeah. So they're getting ready for the, and we talk about things you can do. Like somebody said, oh, he's kidding. He wants to go out for dinner afterwards. I'm not ready to go to a restaurant. So who said you have to go to a restaurant?
Do a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Well, even now.
Talk about the Zoom dates.
Yeah.
But what about even afterwards or soon when they let it up a little? You can do a socially distant walk and get a blanket, sit on opposite ends of a blanket. And
something romantic about that, I have to say.
There are things, get creative.
Yeah.
I have clients doing that now. They are meeting they'll bring coffee each and they'll sit distant and they spend time together. Right. So it can be done safely if you really want to do it.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of single clients who work, and a lot of them have what I've encouraged them to do because they've been furloughed or they've been put on hold in terms of what's happening or working from home. And what we've encouraged, and I've encouraged my clients to do, is use this time to do webinars, to be able to do, what I'll call purging and doing some of those great things. So there are a lot of things like you talked about that when you are home and you're single and you're not working, use this time to work out and do a lot of great things. So I think that's really important.
I talk about preparing yourself for when this is over to, kind of boost the best version of you so you can be ready to get out and date and feel really good about yourself.
Correct. And with my clients, like all of us, the term I'm hearing a lot and I use with my clients is feels like Groundhog Day, right? Every day you're waking up. Yesterday, today, there's tomorrow, there's no Monday, there's no Wednesday, everything's the same. So what I have my clients doing is I have them send me every day as an accountability a list of 5 things they're grateful for from the day before.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell them to show me those Bloomingdale's underwear that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well, actually, I love that. So maybe we should finish with what are you grateful for?
And 2 tasks they want to complete today. And it could be something so simple. And I don't hold them accountable for stuff they didn't do. It's okay. But it's a way to start the day. And
I think that's a great idea. We have to wrap up, and I think it's a great way to end our show, letting everybody know what we're grateful for. Susan?
I am so grateful for this time with my family, even though I lack personal attention. But I'm very lucky to have grown men, and daughters back home with me and having that extra special bonding time with my grandchildren where so many grandmothers are unable to. So for me, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you ladies, getting us back going with us. I appreciate it. As to all the people, to my clients who I check in with and they're doing well and health, and I'm so grateful to God. For whatever reason, I kept thinking there's a reason why it's still cold out here in the East. He's not ready to let us go and go out in public again yet. I don't know. Maybe it's healthier. We're not, but that's a public thing.
yeah.
It's political. I won't go there.
Amie, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my Vibe Tribe, my friends here. I'm grateful for the support that I get from my family. And knowing that, I was able to do a Zoom call with my entire family last Friday night, which was really amazing. So the fact that Zoom exists and that we can't travel, we can't be with my family. I have parents, my dad's birthday's today, and not being able to be there, but knowing that I can Zoom and still be in his life and still be part of that is something that I've been very fortunate. And I'm grateful to have dogs because they get me out of the house and they make me walk and be outside and get some fresh air. And I'm grateful for the fact that I've got wonderful clients that I love working with, and they challenge me as much as I challenge them. And for me, that's what makes a great partnership in business.
That's awesome. Jacqui?
Oh, really? Well, I'm going to say ditto to a lot of everything. I don't want to repeat because I know we're running low on time. I'm actually grateful that my mom turned 90, very much like your dad, and where she was not a talker on the phone, a week to 10 days would go by, she just wouldn't even return calls. Every night I speak to my mom. She answers the phone. She's more joyous than she's ever been. I've never seen her and heard her so uplifted that, that is such a special kind of gratitude. And even though I can't see her, she's across the country. We're going to Zoom with her for Mother's Day with my nieces, and we're setting that up, which is exciting with my daughters. Other than my own family, my stepdaughters from my first marriage have been back in my life. Consistently, I'm getting graduation pictures. Again, unfortunately, couldn't attend her graduation, Lauren, but beautiful pictures. I feel complete. I feel whole, and I'm very grateful for that. And I love looking out and seeing the clear, crisp skies. I'm on top of the GW. Talk about pollution. It's gorgeous. We breathe. Life is good. Life is good.
Good.
That's
And
it.
you, Julianne, what about you?
Much like Jacqui said, in terms of ditto to a lot of the things you've said, very, very grateful for health, especially with my children, my family, you guys, and just that every day is a new day. And we have a chance to make a difference and touch someone's life and connect. So that's what I'm truly grateful for.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay, ladies. So with that being said, I'm Jacqui Atcheson.
I'm Julianne Cantarella.
I'm Amie Blumberg.
And I'm Susan Greif, and we are
Live
Live
with
with
the
the Live.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Happy Mother's Day to
ladies.
those mothers and grandmothers.
Oh yes, happy
Yes.
Mother's Day.
You're happy to, and thank you again to all the people who are on the front line taking care of us, so we don't have to worry. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
All right, and recording
Nurses,
is
we-
stopped. 1 second.
okay, stop.